Here's part 1 of the detailed 2000 plus word script based on the War 2 teaser review transcript you provided, rewritten in an advanced and cinematic commentary format. War 2 teaser review part 1, a spark of hope or another corporate spectacle. When the first visuals of War 2 hit the digital screens, expectations were stratospheric, especially among Telugu cinema fans. The reason? None other than the powerhouse performer Junior NTR stepping into Yash Raj Films' YRF ambitious spywars. But as the teaser rolled in, what followed was a cocktail of relief, skepticism, cinematic deja vu, and cautious hope. A breath of relief, Junior NTR is not the villain. For many fans, particularly those from the South, the biggest fear about War 2 was not whether the film would live up to the scale of its predecessor, but whether Junior NTR would be reduced to a mere antagonist, perhaps even a one-dimensional sleeper cell villain. This anxiety had brewed ever since the project's announcement. After all, Bollywood's past hasn't always handled regional superstars with the finesse they deserve. But within the first few seconds of the teaser, that fear was somewhat laid to rest. Kabir is India's best soldier, best raw agent, not anymore, I will replace him. This line, delivered in a tone clearly attributed to Junior. NTR's character suggests rivalry, not villainy, competition, not conflict. The narrative hint here is clear. Rather than being pitted as a villain like John Abraham's character in Pathan or Ekta Tiger Jr., NTR seems to be entering as a strong contender, maybe even an eventual ally to Hrithik Roshan's Kabir. This change in perception is a massive relief to Telugu cinema fans. For a community used to seeing their stars elevated to demigod status on screen, anything less would have felt like a disservice. Now with this teaser, there's hope that Junior NTR's character will be more layered, possibly even continuing into spin-offs within the Spywars universe. Hrithik Roshan still holds the center, despite the relief about Junior. NTR's role, the teaser does underline one reality: this is still Hrithik Roshan's show. YRF's investment in Hrithik as a franchise face is evident. Having already delivered a Rs 500 plus crore blockbuster with War, Hrithik is being positioned as the poster boy of the Spywars. The visuals, the slow motion entries, the thumping music, it all screams hero, and the teaser doesn't shy away from putting Hrithik at the front and center. And that's where some disappointment begins to creep in for Junior NTR fans. There's an underwhelming sense that Junior NTR has been sidelined in the teaser. His presence is minimal, his screen time barely enough to cause a stir. For fans waiting to see him dominate the teaser, it felt like an introduction rather than a celebration. This subtle imbalance is frustrating, especially when we consider the scale of Junior NTR's stardom, coming off the global success of RRR Junior. NTR is not just a Telugu icon anymore, he's an Indian star with international appeal. So why such limited focus? The answer is simple: War 2 is a Hindi film. YRF is a Mumbai-based corporate studio, and like any corporation, it plays it safe, centering narratives around what has already worked. Corporate machinery and regional sentiments. This brings us to a deeper issue: corporate filmmaking versus regional pride. RF is a behemoth. For decades, it has defined mainstream Bollywood. From Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge to Tigers in the High, YRF has evolved into a content factory, driven by processes and box office statistics. So when a regional superstar like Junior NTR steps into this environment, one can't help but wonder, will they accommodate him or will they simply assimilate him? The initial impression from the teaser doesn't inspire much confidence. It feels like Junior NTR is being cautiously positioned, acknowledged but not celebrated, integrated but not centered. And for Telugu fans who are used to seeing their heroes in full glory with punch dialogues, gravity-defying action and emotionally charged arcs, this feels underwhelming. Their expectations from Junior NTR's role in War 2 were sky high, not just to participate in the franchise but to leave an unforgettable mark on it. If this was a niche drama or an offbeat crossover project, such expectations wouldn't exist. But this is not that. This is a mainstream mass commercial spectacle, an action-packed extravaganza with global ambition. And in such a format, sidelining a star of Junior NTR's caliber feels not just like a missed opportunity, but a tactical blunder. The Spywars problem: gloss over substance. Zooming out, the problem may lie not just in War 2 but in the Spywars itself. Since the inception of this cinematic universe, beginning with Ekta Tiger, moving through War and then Pathan, the quality of storytelling has often taken a backseat to spectacle. Yes, these films deliver on box office and action sequences, but do they offer memorable narratives? Here is part 2 of the detailed War 2 teaser review script, continuing the deep dive commentary format with over 2000 words. War 2 teaser review part 2, Clash of Cultures, Fan Expectations, Spyver's Redemption, The South Factor, more than just casting Junior. NTR when YRF announced Junior. NTR's entry into the Spyverse, it wasn't just a casting decision. It was a strategic move to capture the ever-expanding southern market. The success of Bahubali, Pushpa, KGF and RRR showed the world that Telugu and Kannada films are no longer regional, they're pan-India and in some cases global. With that in mind, bringing Junior, NTR into War 2 wasn't just about performance, it was about legacy. He's not just any actor. He represents the Nandamuri family, a lineage that blends cinema with politics, myth with mass appeal. His fan base isn't limited to theatres, it exists in temples, street graffiti, social media and political discourse. So when such a towering figure is introduced into a Bollywood-led universe, expectations are not just cinematic, they're cultural. And that's where YRF needs to tread carefully. If Junior NTR ends up being a mere tool to serve Hrithik Roshan's narrative, the backlash won't be silent. It will be loud, unforgiving and potentially damaging to the Spyverse's future in the South. That's why it's crucial that the makers understand this is no longer just a Hindi action film, it's a pan-Indian cinematic ecosystem and it demands equal respect for all its stars. The Independence Day battle, War 2 versus Coolie. Another reason the teaser generated buzz and controversy is its release window. Releasing War 2 on Independence Day 2025 is both strategic and symbolic. Independence Day has become a lucrative slot for patriotic action films. From Rustam to Satyamel Jayate, it's a date that guarantees attention. For a Spyverse film that often weaponizes nationalism as a core theme, it's a perfect match. But here's the twist, it's not a solo release. It's clashing with Coolie, starring the ever-dynamic Rajinikanth. Yes, the same Talavar who commands a godlike status in Tamil Nadu and beyond. If Coolie brings even half the impact expected from a Lokesh Kanagaraj-Rajinikanth collaboration, War 2 will face serious competition, not just commercially but culturally. Because in the South, a Rajini release isn't just a film, it's a festival. Fanfare cutouts, firecrackers, street performances. Coolie could dominate not just box office headlines but also social media trends, political circles and cross-industry analysis. In such a scenario, if War 2 doesn't offer a strong emotional core beyond slick visuals and explosive action, it may struggle to stand out. Fan versus studio, an ongoing struggle. Let's pause for a moment and ask, why do so many fans feel underwhelmed despite the teaser offering two of India's biggest stars, high production values and a global aesthetic? The answer lies in the mismatch between fan passion and studio logic. For fans, especially South Indian fans, cinema is sacred. They don't just watch films, they live them. They follow their stars' careers like mythology. Every punch dialogue, every dance move, every screen presence is dissected, celebrated and remembered. But for studios like YRF, filmmaking is often about return on investment, corporate synergy and market expansion. That's not a flaw, it's business. But when this business clashes with emotional investment, disappointment is inevitable. YRF might think, we've given Junior NTR a central role, what more do you want? The fans reply, we want him to shine, not survive. They don't want Junior. They want him to live, lead and inspire, just like he did in RRR. Anything less feels like betrayal. This fan-studio disconnect isn't new. It happened with Shah Rukh Khan's underutilization in Brahmastra. It happened when Dhanush was barely used in The Grey Man. Is the recurring theme of global exposure, local disrespect the lesson? Don't bring legends into your universe unless you're willing to let them redefine it. Narrative potential can War 2 break the pattern? Let's look at what War 2 could do if it chooses to be brave. So far, the teaser indicates a rivalry arc. Kabir, Hrithik is the established raw agent. The newcomer Junior NTR wants to dethrone him. Classic alpha versus alpha setup. But what if this isn't just rivalry? What if it evolves into a layered drama? Two spies with different ideologies, different upbringings and different pasts, forced to collaborate on a mission that shakes their beliefs. That's where emotional depth could come in. Think of it like a desi Captain America Civil War. Kabir representing structured espionage, loyal to the system Junior. NTR's character representing a more rebellious, morally grey freedom fighter. Someone who wants to protect the country but not at the cost of humanity.